Hello, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. So, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? Now, I'm going to go ahead and actually bring up a drawing tool. I do use a drawing tool. I am not sponsored. But you can go ahead and get yourself a free version on, I think it's called Epic Pen? Epic Pen? Something like that? Yeah, Epic Pen. You can get a free version. I find it really handy for like war games in general. Yeah, it's kind of handy. Kind of useful, really. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the... well, I suppose we'll go over what's happened so far, then. So, we did restart and put into operation what we had learned, I should say. I'm going to go ahead and actually place on enemies under control, then. So far, then, we did have the 113th Infantry Division here supporting elements of the 16th Panzer Division. And we do have orders over here. Now, this is not exactly great to have them actually bunched up like this. I'm hoping that we'll be able to drive through here and essentially get rid of these battalions over here. They have been more than likely isolated from their command, one would presume. Yeah, we're not quite at Stalingrad yet, but we're not too far away. I do have orders to move up over here. Essentially what I'm trying to do is have the 113th Infantry Division support the 16th Panzer Division in its efforts to really try and push up to this area here. I mean, I could use this road over here as well. I'm really trying to go for as much bang for my buck as I can get. Over here we have been more cautious than we were beforehand. We do have a few units over here. We do have a little bit of a mixing of units, which I'm going to try and reorganize. I wanted to make sure that we did have some infantry over here. But effectively, I want to make sure that units from separate commands are, well, not fighting together as such. We do take a penalty when that happens, so I want to avoid that. But, yeah, we're going to have the 3rd Motorized Division move down this way. There are elements of the 60th Motorized Division. I did deploy them in such a way as we could at least cover the front here. But in retrospect, I had thought they were all part of the same division. In fact, now we do have 2 divisions here. So that's something to bear in mind for the future. But yeah, we do have a town over here. We did attack into the actual town. I can go ahead and bring up battle resolutions. Whereabouts are they? And find them. Ah, there we are. Yeah. So we have the air. Now, that one's actually pretty good. We did actually force the 231st Night Bomber to report that. They did take some damage, which is a good thing there. Bombardment. We did have our moving attack. I'm trying to find... It'd help if I knew which hex it was here. Let's go ahead. Let's see. 1814. Okay. A good year. A good year. Okay, 1814. Here we are. Yeah. So I did have a moving attack over here. We did have an intensity of medium. Now, intensity is like essentially how bloody the combat will be. But in fairness, we did have everything... In terms of the actual combat, we did have some losses in the use of air power. Oh, the game has been released, I do believe. And I believe there's a 10% discount, so do go ahead and check that out. So you can see that we did have a good dime roll over here. But you can see that we didn't take any losses on our end, which is good. They failed their orders to withdraw, and they did pay a fairly hefty price for it. The manpower loss over here was only about 14%, which is still a fairly hefty amount. But they lost quite a lot of readiness over here, which is going to make it much harder for them in the future. So that's pretty good for us there. Now, we do have our forces actually ready. I mean, currently we're in the planning phase, so we should find it far easier. So I do have elements of 60th Motorized Division. The assault guns are going to be interesting. I suppose I would pay a small penalty, as they're not part of the same headquarters, but that's okay. We also do have our 88mm flak over here. I believe these count as heavy flak. And they're quite useful as they can actually apply, yeah, heavy... Oh, that actually counts as a heavy anti-tank battalion. That's interesting. Yeah, heavy AT unit is a heavy A unit. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah. I think it's still classified as a heavy A unit as well, then. Believe so. Hope so. In which case, then, what happens is it does apply AA to the actual hexes around here, which is really quite useful. Do need to get them actually properly positioned, but we are learning there. So, we do have the 417th AT Battalion over here, and we do have a battalion of the 427th Rifle Regiment. So, well, we are going to find it fairly easy, I believe, to drive through this. I do also have Pioneer support here. We do have a number of elements over here. I want to have the 3rd Motorized Division head down this way, but we'll get that sorted out. Admits that I'm up without realizing, really. Now, we have the 14th there, so they're part of the same Panzer Truppen, so that's okay. Well, Panzer Commander. Possibly so. Possibly so. The actual icon makes me think it could be dual purpose. I don't know if the actual... I mean, I don't really know particularly too much about the actual employment of the 88 per se. I'm going to assume if it doesn't have a gun shield, then it's probably more dual purpose, but I'm not entirely sure, honestly. Or maybe more so AA. I don't know. Honestly, I suppose this is the beauty of the actual gun base. It could be employed in that way. But again, I don't know that much about the actual operational history of the 88mm gun. Other than them being pretty handy. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and... Oh, you can see over here that we do have intensity of stream, which means there's going to be a large amount of casualties resulting from this attack. Ideally on the enemy side. I'm going to go ahead and have the Pioneers go through here. I'm going to have the assault guns. Now, you can see that the odd shift there did change. If I go ahead and actually cancel the assault guns in that attack, you can see that we do have final odds there of 3.3. And that is just that they were from another commander. Now, they do have some shock cancelling. So it may not be the greatest idea to employ those. I could have them move forward, but I suppose we'll see. So we have 3rd Motorized Division, we do have 60th Motorized Division here. And we do have the 160th Panzerjäger Battalion. Now, they do have some attack. I'm going to go ahead and actually give them some additional combat supply here, just to make sure they can punch through here. It's 28 guns. It may be worthwhile actually having them employed there. They're in position, so I suppose why not. So odds of 3.8 to 1, which is not particularly great odds. Let me go ahead and check those. Yeah, so they do add there. I'll place them in here anyway. Probably have these 3rd Motorized Division guns moved to the south there. I do have my bridging engineers. I'd hoped to have been able to take the town here, but I was a little bit disappointed in that. Okay, so we do have the actual artillery over here in position, which is good. So we can actually employ the Nebelwerfers, which is excellent. So you can see there, that's going to help us out. Having that little bit of artillery support there is pretty handy. So we do have guns for the 3rd Motorized Division over here then. Okay. Learned quite a valuable lesson here about how to go ahead and deploy units. I honestly hadn't noticed that they were part of 2 divisions. I think because I was like zoomed in like this, but then when you zoom in like that, it actually shows you. I must have been at a different level there, or just not paying that much attention to have not noticed that. But now well, it'll cost us, but not terribly much. Okay, so I do have the 3rd Motorized Division over here then. What I could potentially do then, because we do have infantry out in the open, we also do have 80 guns over here, but it's an actual 80 regiment. So, as for how they're going to fight versus infantry, it's going to be quite interesting. So we do have a motorized regiment over here, but if I go ahead and find... I don't think I'm going to have an actual regiment of gun, but I do have the Panzerjäger Battalion over here. You can see that we do have 26 guns. We may be able to potentially overrun them. Maybe. But I guess we'll see about that. But anyhow, we do have the 3rd Motorized down here. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do then is I could potentially go for an attack against these guys over here. And that wouldn't be a bad idea, because I could then pin them against the river. Give these guys no way out, perhaps. So I think I will go for that. And I do want to try and seize the highway over here, which is pretty nice. We also do see sorry, not headquarters. We do see artillery down here too. But we do have zone control coming from this unit here. So I suppose we'll see what we can do there. We do have elements of the 60th Motorized Division. We do have these pioneers that I kind of deployed as blocking troops more than anything else there. In retrospect, not the best. Not the best. Oh well. Okay. How do I want to go about this then? So I do have pioneers from the 3rd Motorized Division. I suppose I will pay a penalty to try and dislodge these guys. But we'll see. As for whether I attack them or not, they do gain a benefit from being inside the actual light woods there. I may just find it easy to bypass them, but sometimes it is nice to make sure that we have a good coverage and that our supply lines are pretty safe. Especially as we do have a track here. They will be projecting some zone of control out onto the actual track here, which is going to make it a little bit harder on our supply, but I do have a highway, so we'll see, we'll see. We'll go move by move and take it from there, really. So I do have the 60th Motorized Divisional Headquarters there. Yeah, gotta get these units into position then. But once we get past this initial point here, we'll be able to properly sort them out into their proper divisions. And then we also do have support. I think we have a support brigade in the area. Yeah, we do have a 14th Panzer troop. A Panzer Corps troop. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that's in. Our Panzer Corps troops anyway. Right, 3rd Motorized Division. I do have... this is quite good actually, as we do have this unit. I could drive down the road there. I do run a little bit of a risk that these battalions do get in the way. Not really too bad. I think I can go into here then, let's see. And I can go ahead and actually change the attack orders over here. So... what I'm going to go ahead and do then, there is... I'll go ahead and bring up the actual manual. There we are. Quick start guide. Quite useful. Let me go ahead and find the section that I'm looking for, the relevant one. Yeah, so you can see that we do have attack normal intensity, assault, the actual intensity of the battle increases, and then you can see that we have attack with no advance there. So, if we take a look, we're already at extreme intensity, so I don't think it will change anything, so I think we can just go ahead and just go for the normal attack there. It won't make a difference. We're already at extreme intensity here. I will go ahead and actually give them a combat supply to make sure we get through here. So we'll give it to the 3rd Motorized and 60th Motorized if we can. More than likely either way. I do have other assets I could employ. The air power's resting for the most part now. We did employ them last turn. But we do have other options available to us, such as the actual ones over here. This one is going to be gone by 10-5, so I do want to make sure I use it, but I want to make sure I can use it somewhere that's going to be, like, decently useful. But yeah. Oh, I can go ahead and actually check. There's unit quality. Here we are. So you can see that we do have a unit. So you can see the actual 417th AT Battalion is of, I think they're considered green. I forget how it goes, but I think there's elite, veteran, regular, green, and conscript or something of that nature. I might have got the ordering wrong there. But yeah, we can see that we do have a regular unit in here. We also do have a poor quality. And we have a poor quality here. Well, essentially green. I'm just going to go ahead and call them green. Or maybe poor. I forget what it is. We'll go ahead and call them poor. We do have poor here and poor here. So that does mean that we can actually drive through these units pretty nicely. So I think I will go ahead and swing the actual offensive out towards Orakov. Which works for me. You can see that our units are decent enough. I love our units being over here green, which means that they're actual veterans. Which comes in really, really handy. So, let's go ahead and actually plan that out then. So, I do have 3rd Motorized there. Now, the Panzer Battalion there could do with some support. But my infantry's down over here then. I could go ahead and redeploy them over here to the north. But we'll see. It's not too bad to actually have them here. We could still drive them down the road. And I think I will still use them as a force there. I'll properly sort out their command and control afterwards. So what I'm going to go ahead and do then is we'll order this attack. Because it seems like that is about as far as we could go there. Let's go ahead and go through the actual headquarters. So I do have 3rd Motorized Division here. Let's go into their supply. I have 22 and 45, so I have quite a bit for the ammunition aspect there, so it's quite handy. Fuel is expensive, but not too bad. So we'll go ahead and we'll apply those. That's 16th Panzer. We'll go to 60F Motorized. And do the same, but I think everybody should be adjusted, but I'll double check that anyway. As for the rest, you can see that we only have 10 fuel there. Now, we don't gain a huge amount per turn, but I think it's worthwhile to use it fairly liberally. Because at the end of the day, if you don't spend it, you don't gain the benefit. And early on, I think it's important to retain the actual readiness of our units and strength of the units. It's probably going to help us out later as we go. But yeah, we'll go for that generally. Okay, so we have our force over here then. I think zone control is going to be an issue over here then, perhaps. So we could do that, and then more than likely drive on. Which we could potentially go down this way, or we could potentially carry on down this way. It very much depends. And in theory, I don't even need to do this. We do have a lot of considerations here. Now, they will cancel out some of our shock. What I could even potentially do then is just have this group drive down here, this group drive down here, then we move towards this area here, and essentially drive a wedge between them. The only issue with that is having something here in the actual rear area. But, we'll see. I can assault this position here with the Pioneers. We'll go ahead. So we have 3rd Motorized Division. I'm going to go ahead and get the Pioneers in here then. I do have these Pioneers as well. Do have the most cycle infantry battalion. So if I throw them in here, 1.1 to 9, it may be worthwhile to just avoid that one in fairness. I may spread the Pioneers out just to make sure we have some units in the actual rear. So I don't have really a lot of infantry. Well, I do have infantry, but they're obviously motorized. Let's go ahead and see. I could have them come around and bring it up over here, or just bypass. Bypassing wouldn't be a terribly bad idea. Kind of buggered myself up with deployment here, but we'll go from there. Now, how do I want to do this? I could have a strong drive down the center, which in fairness, it does put us in a position then to link up fairly quickly, so I think I will go for a strong push down the center there. This one is going to be a pain. They do gain the benefit of a light woods there. And if I go ahead and take a look, have the terrain one here. Okay. So, woods over here. No shock in battles, no overruns. And they do gain additional defense there. Yeah, I can see 150%. And they gain defense against bombardment. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass to dig them out there, really. Hey, done there, Van Bishop? Good to have you. I think I'm going to go ahead and bypass them. Let others deal with them. So they can drive on through here. And it could be worthwhile just to leave them at the town there. It's an interesting development, really, because you have to be quite bold, but then you have to be quite aware of your limitations, too. And that does take some getting used to. Now, I'll have them drive through here, too. I could have them go around that. We'll try something like that. I want to try and seize these towns then, perhaps. Now, I do have these forces here. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is bring the motorized division around this area. Maybe have them bring up the center there. And I do have this element of 3rd motorized. I'm going to rearrange them as we go, but I want to make sure we have something here just to cover. So what I'll do then is move over there. I do have my motorcycles. Have them come around here, perhaps. They could bypass. But what I'm going to go ahead and do... I mean, motorcycle troops like this are really handy, but obviously these are my reconnaissance troops, and I do want to have them actually out and ahead. So that would be a really awesome thing to do there. That's always a problem here. Then again, it may be worth trying for it. They're not the most amazing troops, but they are well positioned to be a bit of a pain in the backside. Yeah, they are going to be a bit of a pain in the backside there. But at the end of the day, we are dealing with about 4 hours per turn here. So, not everything can be achieved at once, and we'll have to take it from there. Yeah, these guys are great against towns. In fairness, I can just reorientate my divisions over here to the north. I don't need to particularly take this area. It's not an objective. So I think I will go ahead and reorientate to the north end, perhaps. As long as I can actually cover my supplies, it really doesn't particularly matter for me. So I'm pretty happy about that. So these are part of the 14th. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is we'll have them... let's say... it's going to be an interesting question to figure out where to go. But we'll have them move up that way. I'm going to go ahead and actually collect them back into their formations where I can. Yes, we can move through enemies under control. I'm not terribly familiar with the rules as such as of yet, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that it probably will deduct them from their movement points. But again, I would have to read up on that. We'll probably do that later on, perhaps during turn resolution, but we'll see. Right, 14th. We'll have our concentrate over there. Get the gang back together, and we'll go from there. A little bit of time lost here, but that's not too bad. 60th motorized. Yeah, no problem. As said, still learning the game myself, so we'll go from there, really. Yeah, they look like an AT. Oh no, this is a flak battalion then. Okay. Third motorized could be on this section here. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do then is have them lesser to fire. Oh, so it's a friendly unit. So I could put some fire down here, there, or there. That one could be handy, but it may be worthwhile to target these guys out in the open. Cause a little bit of loss of readiness. But yeah, we'll see about that. I may want to place additional artillery in here, so I think I will. That is helping them. They can move there. Oh, these ones are... It's a good question there, Dragster. Essentially what it's saying here is that there is a unit here. We're aware that there is a unit here. We just don't know what kind of unit. We just don't know what kind of strength it has. Like, for example, over here, I did do some radio interception. So let's go ahead and find the one that... yeah, intel strength. So you can see here that we do have greater intel strength in this area. Some intel strength in this area, some intel strength in this area. But not enough to actually reveal too much about the actual unit. So that's pretty handy. You can see that intel strength is a pretty big part of the game here. It does help out. Like you can see with this one here, we do have information about it. This one we have information about it. We can get a rough idea of how many men are in there, perhaps. Yeah, it's a pretty good system. Pretty good system. Like over here, there's not a great deal of men, apparently. But we'll see about that. Let's go ahead and turn it back off. Alright. It's going to be a little bit sketchy, but I'm going to go ahead and make sure we can get everything sorted here. I think I will have one of these actual... I'll probably go ahead and actually use the... Well, then again, this is the interesting thing, is that we do have the 14th Panzer troops over here, and they Panzer Corps troops, and they actually do have some pretty specialized equipment, which is quite interesting. So just trying to figure out how best to utilize it, really. I think I will go ahead and actually use elements of them to cover... something of that nature, anyhow. Just make sure I have some cover to the south. We'll figure it out. Once we bypass them, I won't need them. I just want to make sure I can cover my flank for the most part. Right, now... 60th needs to get moving down this way if it can. Now, maybe they can make that, who knows. It is going to be threaded in some sort of a needle. So I think what I'll do is move that way. I mean, at least I can sort of bridge the gap a little bit more. I can move there. these 3rd Division troops then. I think have them move this way. Try and control this area. Okay. Gonna go ahead and take them out of the attack. They can move down there too. And they can concentrate around that area. Just need to get everybody back into formation for the most part. But yeah, we'll figure that one out as we go. We will have these attacks driven down here. Oh, they're moving green orders, aren't they, apparently? Oh, sorry, yes, those are those troops, never mind. Yeah, they're offensively minded. We'll see how that goes. Again, I do have to rearrange the divisions there, but luckily we're not going too far. Over this way, we do have a number of orders set up already. Just essentially getting everybody into position over here to assault across the river. A lot of the orders were more or less ready to go, so that's pretty cool. Over here, then, I could increase the intensity, but it's already pretty high. I do have an actual divisional headquarters over here, and I would love to bombard that. Do I actually have range in it? And if I do, actually, so what I'm going to go ahead and do, then, is granted, I do have an attack going ahead over here, but I do want to go ahead and actually bombard that headquarters in the open if I can. I did read in the manual that headquarters are particularly vulnerable to being bombarded. So, and again, I do have my headquarters fairly close to the actual front, which is not a particularly great idea. They're going to be pushing up over there. So, we'll see how that goes. I think I will have these guys move down here, though. Just to make sure that they are covered somewhat. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Again, this is going to be all about learning. And I do want to get through some turns here if I can. Now, right now, I don't have a great deal of interdiction. I do have a lot of counter-air. Interdiction does reduce their supply, readiness regain, and things of that nature. Counter-air reduces the impact of their air power. It increases really the effectiveness of our anti-air, which is quite good. So, we'll go with that. Not the perfect turn, but I guess we'll see how that goes. I may play command over here, perhaps just to make sure this does go ahead and work. But I'm not too sure. Again, we do have more intelligence over here, so I'm going to go ahead and actually put that to use. So again, I do want to go ahead and figure out what's going on in this general area. I would like to have that information. But this one isn't too long range. So if I go ahead and take a look then, I believe I do have my reconnaissance units over here ready to go. So, it's a good range there. Can I go ahead and have that shown? I won't show there. I think there's a way to see it, but I'm not entirely sure. So we'll have that set up. Then in terms of this, so we do have a range of 4 but an intel strength of only 2, so it does cover a wide area, which is pretty useful. So I think we'll have it cover this area here, because I do want to try and figure out what's going on. And I do have, so my objectives, by the way, are over here, so I have objectives over here in the north. I have objectives then along the actual Don River. So what I'm trying to do then is essentially take control of the actual center here, envelop these troops and deal with them. I note that there is a concentration of armor down here. We do have a tank corps. I'm trying to keep tabs on it if I can. It's useful to have that information there. So, maybe something like that, but I'm not too sure. I mean, I kind of am aware of it, but I will lose detection over that. I do have the infantry over here, which is good, so they will actually project some intel out. But again, flying a little bit blind, I guess you could say. It may be worthwhile to actually go ahead and use the intel, just to sort of get an idea of what's coming up in front of us, really. That could be a good idea. It may be a good idea. So I could then swing to the north. If I know what I'm expecting, that'll help. So I think we'll go ahead and actually go for something like that. Go there. Try and gain some intelligence of the actual objectives, and then I know what's coming up. It's going to be rough, but we'll see how it goes. We're in a position where we can actually recover pretty easily, come what may for the most part. But we don't have a tremendous amount of turns left, so we'll see how it goes. So go ahead and move in. I'm going to aim to try and get about at least one more turn to 2 turns out of this actual stream here. Once we get things in motion, it usually does get easier. If you guys are interested, I do have on my desk, I do have a Warlord Titan from Epic Armageddon. It is pretty awesome. I didn't paint it. Somebody who has talent painted it, and it looks cool. It is blue with a yellow head and a yellow knee, and then the other kneecap is black. Is white with black stripes across it. That's pretty cool. I know it's a little bit random, but I like to give you guys a little bit of background information. We all like to have something on our desk, don't we? No mementos. Okay, so we do have the bombardments over here then. Now, there's not a huge amount of men in here, but causing some disruption, causing some damage over here can have an impact over the long run. Alright, so we do have bombardment here, 30 men lost there, 5-5. Over here then, 15 men. A decent artillery barrage over there. Oh, a thing to bear in mind as well is don't mix divisional headquarters, don't mix divisional artillery with core artillery. They're more effective when employed separately. But 15 men lost over here, 2% strength and 13% readiness. The attack over here, yeah, so there's a fair amount of bombardment going on here. Bit of a mixed bag there. But again, it causes some loss of men, causes some loss of readiness, which is a good thing to have there. We do see the actual headquarters over here, so I could actually switch over to bombarding their headquarters. They do have a little bit of protection by being in light woods, but still, it'd be good to hit their headquarters where we can. We do have the bombardment here. This is the preliminary bombardment to the actual attack. Apparently no losses inflicted, but not too surprising, but we do inflict some loss of readiness. We are actually going to go ahead and have a regiment of infantry and a pioneer battalion assault that position, so we'll see how that goes. We do have our attack over here, so we actually do lose apparently one vehicle. I think that would be a Panzer III there. Possibly Panzer IV. But we do actually win there, which is good. Yeah, intensity extreme. So we suffer a loss of 10 men there of 819 from the armoured Schutzen over here. They suffer 230 men of their 519. So 44% of their actual combat strength and 33% of their readiness there is now gone. So they're pushing back. We do have forces pushing up over here, so hopefully that will entail success. So we see a T-34 company out here. Okay, so 37 men lost there, 1 gun lost there. We do have quite the barrage going in here. Intensity was high. So good odds, actually. It looks like we would have succeeded, but it looks like... Oh, no, actually, no, there we go. We do succeed in taking the town. They are forced to retreat there. I'm surprised they weren't wiped out there, essentially. But yeah, they lost 3 of their 10 guns. Wow, not many guns there. 193 of their 615 men. So they lose 31% of their strength and 31% of their readiness, and they weren't looking too hot to begin with there. So they're forced in position here. We do take the actual town, which is good. That secures my position over here on the north. What I can then go ahead and do is make use of the highway shortly enough. Okay, pushing on forwards. Do see horse-drawn artillery. We do... Oh, so we see the actual divisional headquarters over here, but I do want to try and hit that if I can. Battalion is down here. See a battalion there. Panzer battalion... Well, armed battalion, I should say. Technically, I'm not wrong. It's just we normally say Panzer for Germans, don't we? This is a German word. So they shift out of their position. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I don't think that will actually get in the way of anything there. Don't think so. Oh, here we go. So we actually overrun the enemy unit over here then. That's pretty cool then. We can go ahead and double check which one that was from earlier. But yeah, you can see they were overrun, so they're just completely wiped out there. I think that was because we had 10 to 1 odds there, more or less. Let's go ahead and check out. Oh, so, you know what? I think that unit hadn't actually been previously engaged. I don't recall it having been previously engaged, so that's pretty good. If that's been overrun, then that's really pretty fantastic. So yep, they're overrun. We do see the artillery over here. Oh, okay. Is that an additional overrun? Wow. Yeah, and it looks to be then. So this is the 427th Rifle Regiment 1. So this is, well, I don't know how to pronounce that, but the 1st Battalion of the 427th Rifle Regiment. So let's go ahead and double check. So this one, oh, is this the same unit? That's interesting. I'm not totally sure how that works then, essentially. But this looks to be another unit. So is it forced back? All units are eliminated. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure how this works, right? Exactly sometimes. Oh, I do have version 0.5. I do need to update to the release version, actually. But I don't know. I'll just take it as a good thing. Apparently got 2 overruns, so that'd be... apparently a 3rd overrun. Whoa. You know, just keep the party going. Ooh, okay, so we actually do have the guards rifle over here. These guys are kind of in the way. I think we will have them drive it on here in theory. But again, issues kind of rise when you do have units come into contact with enemy stragglers and things of that nature. So we do have a moving battle over here. So this element of the 33rd Guard Division attacks. We actually suffer a loss of a vehicle here, which is not great. We do hold there. But they do lose 118 men for that. But still, this was a meeting battle, by the way. Intensity was high. Okay, so the 16th Panzer Division is a little strung out here. And normally these battalions are going to be in the way. May impact on our supply, but we do have the ability to potentially draw supply this way. We'll see. I'm hoping that these guys will drive along here, wipe them out. They actually do hold. That's really a pain in the backside to say how many there were. Yeah, okay, so we'll go ahead then and take a look at that. I had hoped that we would have been able to drive through there. Oh, it looks like we actually didn't get to the point of contact. But next turn we will, which is actually not bad because that helps us out. Okay. Oh, so over here then we spy a brigade headquarters, apparently 2 brigades headquarters, so that could mean that there's an armored brigade in this area. Do see a reconnaissance company over there. Over this way, 2 regiments apparently. Divisional headquarters. Regimental artillery. Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do then is just play that out. You guys be able to see. May take a little while, but you'll see shortly enough. And this is pretty handy just to get an eye on what is going on exactly with the enemy. So we'll be assaulting across the river over here. Next turn, ideally. Yeah. We'll skip forward there to the end. Okay, so we'll take a look at the next actual phase here. Right, supply is a bit of an issue. You can see these guys are on isolated supply. That unit, well, that battalion having moved there is a bit of a pain in the backside. But in fairness, I do have some assault guns, some Marders, and a Pioneer battalion with some Panzerjägers. They may be able to push them over the edge. And I can actually go ahead and seize the light woods over here, which is pretty good. I can see them actually clumping up over here, which is interesting. These guys, yeah, so we did push them out of the town. I do have to bear in mind the readiness of my units here. They're at 87% readiness, so they'll want some rest in the near future. You can see that we're now at 2 o'clock here. Yeah. But at least I'm going to be able to actually organize the divisions as we go now. So that's quite good. We'll be able to break out of this area. So see a number of units there. These guys are big pain in the ass. We do see a battalion of T-34s there to the south. Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't move further forward there, but at least I do have the actual Schutzen, and I do have the infantry in position here to push on forward. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do then is have the infantry push here. I'm going to hope that these guys are... They're going to definitely be isolated supply. I mean, if we're isolated supply, they're definitely going to be isolated on supply. If I go ahead and take a look at zone of control. So this is our own zone of control. Now, there is a little bit of a lesser zone of control here. Yeah, they're impacted on my own movement. Here, then, I've kind of lost sight of the enemy. I'd like to go ahead and have some reconnaissance over here if I could. Try and keep awareness. Yeah. Here, then, you can see this is the zone of control we're projecting. That's the zone of control they're projecting, so not as much. We do have a pretty good, strong grip on this area. Again, I'm trying to... Well, interesting enough, let's go ahead and see if we can find the divisional headquarters here. So I do have 192nd Rifle Division. I spy elements of 192nd Rifle Division over here. Elements over here as well. We do have something attached to the 62nd Army. But this looks to all be the 192nd Rifle Division. The headquarters will be around here somewhere then. I do have our reconnaissance battalion there. They could potentially overrun that. I mean, they're giving us intel there, but it seems the supply situation's a bit of a problem. So I do have some additional AA that has arrived, so I'm going to go ahead and actually get that into service if I can. We'll start down here at the south then. I do have these 15cm guns here. Now they are entrenched, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. Cadet rifle. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at unit quality then. Oh, these guys, fortunately, are listed as being pretty poor. These guys are regular, so not the best of the best, but they're still a step above them. These guys are veterans. These are regulars. Poor quality over here, man. Poor quality there. And again here. But we're almost at the point now I can actually drive through them. So, yeah, we'll start with the south. Now, I do have the reconnaissance battalion over here, then. They don't have a great deal of attack. I'm kind of using them just to give me information, really. But I think I may have them even move towards the north over here, but we'll see. Now, they could move across here. Well, this is the problem here, is that I actually do not know what's on the other side of the river. We did see forces here the turn before, so I've got to assume that there's likely going to be something there. And I do have to bear that in mind. So what we'll go ahead and do then is have this attack go ahead. Now the odds are not actually in my favour here. At all. Right now. I could maybe employ artillery in here. That does shift the odds. But not a huge deal. I could actually go ahead and increase the intensity of the battle. Which will mean that there's a higher loss of units. It's a tough one on that one. You can see artillery does actually help out quite a lot there. Now, in terms of when I want to aid via air power, yeah, try and concentrate forces here. So I do have a unit over here that, not that one. There we are. That's really cool. So they're going to go ahead and attempt to create pontoon bridges over here then, which is pretty cool. I like the fact that it will go from each of these hexes here then. I do have another one there. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is shift this one. I think over here to the north, because I do have equations here. So that's pretty cool. Right, so I do have the 100th Jaeger division then. Let's go ahead and actually have them employed. Again, these guys are in the open, so always a good target. I did see the divisional headquarters there, but I don't see it now, so I can't explicitly target, I don't think. These belong to another command, so I might as well use them separately. Have them hit that unit there. Need to get that artillery moved up. Actually, that can move there. Okay. So I need to get a pontoon bridge. But again, I don't want to deal with the forest there, to be honest. I do have a stack limit at these hexes, though. Let's just pull them back. Pioneers did come in handy, but it may be better to actually have the infantry regiments pile up here. These guys do have a stack limit of 2, and I kind of have 9 in a normal hex. These guys take up 2, so the regiment has 4. That doesn't leave me with a lot there, really. Not a lot. So then moving in there, that takes me to 6. So in fact, maybe I just do go ahead and leave the Pioneer Battalion in here. I think we will. Considering I don't really have much of a choice as to what to replace it with, frankly. Now, they can move there as a team to be ready to move across. These guys are smaller units, so I'm going to go ahead and actually move the Stokes up over here then. They can actually be in a position to then cross. Okay, using the artillery over here then. Get ready to cross over here then. Have the artillery hit them. Okay. Then we'll go to the south. I think I will employ air power here. So I do in theory have good odds over here now. But I reduce that somehow. Ah, there we are. Yeah, we'll go for that then. Their readiness could benefit from some recovery. It's a tough one here, because I really need to rely on these actual reconnaissance units to do their fang. Have a move there. Might as well just move there then. We'll go ahead and have these guys move them out over here, but I want to see what's in this general area. Okay. I do need these elements of 16th Panzer Division to get their asses in gear. Have the infantry deal with the town there. And then let these guys go around. In fact, I might just bypass altogether. I may even have them go around. But I think we're okay. I can drive them forward. How you doing there, Jolly? Good to have you, my man. Yeah, living on a prayer sounds pretty good. Sounds like a wise thing to do. Okay. Now, I do have pioneers over here as well. We do have our SCKFZs over here too. I do have these units here. I think what I'm going to probably do is have some units actually move backwards over here to make sure we secure this. So I think what we'll do then, bring these panzers back. Well, just reset everybody here for a sec. So I can get everything sorted then. I'm going to go ahead and get the Panzer Schützen. Did I reset everybody? Thankfully not. Okay. I'm not entirely sure which button I pressed there, but I'm going to bear that one in mind. Alright. That should in theory work, but I'm going to go ahead and give that support anyway. Oh, I know what I did. There we are. They can go ahead and hit that then. They can just take a leg back and just deal with these guys. Have them then collect. Essentially what I want to try and do then is wipe out the guards on this road here then. I think I'll leave the actual... I'll potentially just move it up. It does depend because I can only have 9 in actual hex. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9. So that works out actually. I really don't like my actual support elements being that close to the enemy though. I think I'll just go ahead and concentrate them for now. We'll have a bit of a pause here for the Panzer Division then to just collect itself up again. May place some artillery down on the actual units there. Yeah, we'll go with something like that. Just go ahead and get some... a bit of a situational pause, I guess you could say. Well, tactical pause. What's the limit of my headquarters right now? If it moves there, yeah. Okay. Right, what we're going to go ahead and do then is... I know you can give a wait command, but I'm not entirely sure if it will have them. But essentially, I want to go ahead and do Venice, have them push up over here if I can. I'm not too big of a fan of how this is going to work out. Another alternative is what I can do then, is grab these units all together. Now they're going to move in the move and defend, which means that essentially they'll move, and if they come into contact with the enemy that they can't defeat, they will stop. So I think I will try and get them to move up ahead if I can, which would then put me into a good situation there. So we'll hope for the best, frankly. Right, I have some support over here then. 113th. Where's their divisional headquarters over there? Yeah, they're fine, but I do want to go ahead and actually get that headquarters moving up. Do have a brigade headquarters there too, which I'll have just cross over here, but at least it's in position. These guys then can have support over here, but that looks like a good attack. It could help, but I think I will place some artillery support over here then. At the end of the day, it is better to do that than to have a small malice. Only a small malice, but at the end of the day, I don't want to take any malice. If I can do that, then that will ensure that we have a victory there. Is that entirely... Is that just ensuring that we have an attack there? Not super sure. I'm going to assume so. We'll see. Okay. So they're going to have aid from air support. They're trying to... I'm essentially trying to get the unit sorted out here. I'll have the pioneers move in there. They do need supply, in all honesty. But I do want to hold that town. Right, Panthers can move into the town. Oh, sorry. Right, Pioneers can move there. The forces can move in there. They can move to that point. These guys, I'm going to go ahead and actually have push forward. Essentially, I do want to have eyes and ears. It's going to string the division out. But in theory, should I make it there, we're okay. And I'll move there, just make sure we aren't on the road, but that we still have some... Actually, no, what I want to probably go ahead and do is go the opposite way. Maybe that there. Okay. I do want to try and link up this turn if I can. A lot of things would have to go right for that to happen, but it is a potential possibility. And I would like to try and, you know, make it actually happen. And I do think we have enough force to drive on here. These guys are technically isolated, but they'll be okay next turn. So let's go ahead and see here. Not great odds there, in fairness. I think because we don't actually have... Well, I don't know, actually. I guess we'll see. Right. Go ahead and get the motorcycles moving down the road. I do want to go ahead and actually get my headquarters in there. I should have been moving up during the turn, in fairness. In fact, we'll have you placed there for the time being. Let's get the other things sorted first. What I'll do then... Let's see. That's third division. Right. Okay. They can move in here. They can move there. So make sure I hold the flank there. I would like to cross over here if I could. So we'll have to go ahead and make that a thing. Okay, they can go ahead and move up. I could maybe place down some pontoon bridges there, but I want to avoid this if I can. Okay. Now I can't use all of them together though. Do they have the range? Nah. Shame. Ideally overrun them. Right, I'm going to go ahead and have them move there. I could push them further, but I'm not that close to my headquarters. Yeah. There's some issues here due to zone control. I guess we'll be a little bit more aggressive in pushing up over here on the flank, perhaps. Well, saying that. Yeah, this is a little disorganized. We'll get that sorted. I think we'll just try and destroy the enemy in this area, then push on then. I've got to hope that works. I mean, they could potentially maintain their position there, give us awareness of the area. I think definitely in future redeploy them. Well, deploy them in a different fashion, like more concentrated, and bugger the southern end here, because you can punch through and just punch through if you can. Okay, let's get headquarters moving to where they need to be then in theory. Again, still a bit awkward over here, but we'll get that worked out. Ideally. And that covers the turn there. So, yeah, fairly happy that we've been able to get through that then. Intel. Go ahead and pop it in that area then. Maybe over here give us awareness, perhaps. I do want that attack to succeed. I really actually do. So I do have some other elements out here. Go ahead and grab this BF-110 group. They may be able to just offer some aid. It does offer another shift there, so have to hope for the best. Yeah, reconnaissance is a bloody vital thing, isn't it? Have it cover this area over here, because this is likely where I'm going to be crossing. And then over here, just have it cover the crossroads. Then at least we can see what may be in front of us. So we'll go with that. Hope for the best. We'll soon be moving towards the night phase as well, actually, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. I think we would have been better off had I actually organised the 30th. Is it 30th? Oh, 3rd, sorry. 3rd and the 60th better. But yeah, well, we live and learn. Hopefully I can deal with this problem, then we can drive. Wow, okay. Right, that's a beefy unit out here. Oh, we see a core over there, so that's actually a pretty viable target. And there's actually a 3rd regiment there. Oof. 4th regiment. Oof. Fair bit of strength down here in the south. There we see a lot of artillery, in fact. Yes, me too. This one, I mean, to be honest, I do need it to succeed, so let's hope. So, bombardment there. Oh, we can do a bombardment over here, actually, ourselves. Not great. Looks like we were fired upon by these positions. That's pretty good. 55 and 1 gun lost there. We'll attack again as we do have pontoons. Well, bombard again next turn, so that's a good thing. Over here, guns opening up. Yeah, causes some losses. Just causes some loss of readiness, really, in general. Here, then, they retreat. That's the problem, is they retreat. I'm trying to overrun them, but they're not making it easy. But they go to the north, which is actually decent. So secure that there. Push on ahead. Yeah, 37 men lost there. Again, they have been hit hard. 30% gone. 18. They lose 133 men. They forced to retreat another hex. Over here, we do see air strength there. Only half strength, unfortunately. Okay, so they do retreat. I do lose 2 vehicles for that, but to be honest, this is kind of throwing what little I did have to try and force that battalion out of the way. And it goes that way, which is good. So that should open the road up now. Okay. Right, they retreat. There's only 267 of them left. I was... okay. Over there to the north, okay. We attack over here, then. Oh, this went really well. Okay, this went pretty well. And in fairness, it should have gone well, because we did have a lot of actual support thrown into this. Well, not too much in the way of artillery, but a decent amount in terms of air power. So we have 32 men lost there for 2754. So not too much there. But a lot of readiness, because this was a pretty hefty attack. But we do... yeah, they can see... so we can see here they fail to hold at all costs. And they are forced to retreat there. They lose 13% of their strength, but 31% of their readiness. So 259 men of the 1,791 that were here. So we do dislodge the actual regiment. They do lose one of those guns too. But that's a pretty important game for us there too. So they're pushed back. Right, so we do have an attack over here then. 87 men lost there. But they lose 3 of the 18 guns. So they're not too easy to deal with. And I suppose this is it. At the end of the day, you're still attacking a gun battery. And guns are pretty good at doing what guns do. They fail that, they do lose a lot of readiness. And they're forced into this position here. Okay. So we've actually got something now where I can work with. Ideally, these guys are going to drive it on up here. And there we are. Good. We do lose another vehicle, though, it's a bit of a problem. And they're forced across the red bar. Okay, so I do actually have control of the town here. The town's across here. Ideally, these guys move on up unopposed. So, do they attack us? Wow, I lost another vehicle there. These guards are tenacious little buggers. Right, headquarters moves up. Ah, that's really good there. Okay, so they actually went to plan, apparently. Do see the headquarters down there again. That's a lot of armor there in front of us. See a reconnaissance company over there. But they're kind of been corralled into this area now. Surprised they haven't pushed up further than they did. I may have actually given them the wrong order there. They may have been on defensive order. Okay, so that surprisingly went well. I've got to imagine that these guys now are considered isolated, so the actual battalions over here should be able to deal with them fairly easily. And I do see, yeah, I've got to be aware of this. I think the 130th may have to push down this way. At least then the the Panzer Division here, the actual 3rd motorized can link up then. 60th can continue to drive on. Do see a fair amount of artillery. We are aware of artillery here too. Okay, so we do have... I'm not entirely sure if they have succeeded in creating the pontoon bridge. Doesn't look like it because I can't yet cross, so I've got to assume that that's yet to come. So you've really got to get them to the actual river line pretty quickly. Again, we'll continue to bombard over here then. In fact, so I'm going to go ahead and do then is change their targets, because we do have more artillery I can bring to bear there, including rockets, which is a good thing. They can go ahead and fire there. Little bit of a heavier bombardment then. Then the artillery here can start firing on that position. In theory, there's a headquarters there. Who knows? Okay. I'm just really happy that that worked out. Yeah, look at that. That is actually pretty good coverage. So, yes. You can see how that follows the tracks. You can see where the enemy has their impact. So that is actually pretty damn useful. That means that we can actually make use of those roads there, and we will be able to actually push the division on quite nicely now. And in theory, we won't have to worry too much. And obviously we do have a south to worry about, but, well, let's take a look there. We do have intel out of this range here. And as far as we're aware, there's not anything there. Could be wrong, but we're not too sure. But we have some level of like surety to say that there's not something there right now. See that intel building up there too. So right now we kind of have like 4 distinct pushes going on here. I go ahead and get my good old... Thanks. Thank you for telling me that for the 50th time. Let me go ahead and get this up. Let's go for something over there. Green. Yeah, there we are. We'll go for Vermat Grade then. So kind of pushing that way. Kind of pushing that way. Then, well, in fairness, I mean, they're going to go down that way too. And they're going to try and push that way. So that's generally what's going on right now. I don't know. I don't think we're doing too well. We could have done better. But I mean, this is it. You have to learn first. We have gained some victory points though, which is good. Wiping out some headquarters is actually gaining some victory points. We need to find them. We also need to go ahead and secure the towns. This area is going to be a problem. It's going to be a bit of a problem there to deal with that. So that's a concentration I don't really particularly deal with. I'm not too sure what is in here, if there is indeed anything in there, but I guess we'll find out sooner or later. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get these orders issued then. See, their supplies are particularly fantastic right now. That gun needs to go ahead and move up. We'll go ahead and employ the artillery over here then. I do want to make sure we can actually push that. I want them gone. I mean, ideally they're going to be low enough on supply that they're not going to be a problem. Wishful thinking, I know. They need to push out down here to the south, and I do want to gain some situational awareness down here. Okay. Right. And 16th Panzer Division can continue to move up then. I don't know where the 192nd Rifle Division headquarters went. I should have probably kept a track of that. I'm sure I saw it earlier, but I lost track of it. I'm not too sure what their supply situation could be like there. Actually, I have an idea of these guys because I can see theirs is low. Yeah, the 192nd's got to be... I mean, maybe they're situated over here. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at that zone of control. Yeah, I mean, this is zone of control we're projecting out here. The 33rd Guard, then, is in a little bit of disarray, then. I was saying that, these are not particularly large units, but they have been particularly cumbersome. Looks like one of them is out of supply, yeah. This one's out of supply there. The one we're not too sure about. Okay. I'm going to continue to bombard them, reduce their readiness. Then we can have them combined there. He's not particularly great. But at least I do have the AT guns. But again, this is the issue. We don't know particularly where the enemy could be. I may want to reposition my AT guns over here to cover the 523rd. Because at the end of the day, they do have control of the bridge there. But it's anybody's guess really as to where they could be. Or where they would actually seek to cross, if they do indeed seek to cross. So I'm going to go ahead and place some artillery there. So yeah, pretty difficult to guess this time, really. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and actually have them push to the north, and I kind of want to have some awareness over here to the north. Have the reconnaissance battalions move up to try and bridge the gap in the information we have here. As for the 16th Division, I want to have them link up for the most part. Okay. Actually, not particularly great. I could potentially leave him there. At least, like, I think I'll place him on top of the actual unit here. At least then I do have some cover for the headquarters. I kind of do want to have some security over here. Do I want it in the town of Madeline? I think maybe have the pioneers move there. Possibly have them push to the north, just cover us there, but... Do I really want to push them out that way? I guess not. It may be even worthwhile to possibly give them a little rest. Readiness is, yeah, not too great. I think I'll give them some rest there. Let everybody sort of collect up once again. Let our SDKFC 231s gather some information. Have that artillery group up there. At least then we do have the division covered. They may be able to have some rest in a sense. If I take a look, the SDKFC could move up pretty decently far. I mean, really, I'm looking for, like, gaps. But if I go that far, at least I can actually I can get some information there, perhaps. End of the day, the third motorized can be moved down here short enough. These guys are causing me problems. To be sure, to be sure. Right. They've been doing pretty well here, actually. So we'll have that paint train continue. Yeah, that's looking good. Yeah, that's going to be a good attack there. Let's increase the intensity to extreme. I want to try and wipe out that unit if I can. Or units. Alright. I could maybe even employ these troops over here. At least they can work in conjunction with each other there. And that looks like a decent attack there. Ish. Go get 3rd Division Artillery moved up down there then. '60th could do with moving up. Go ahead and get the... yeah. Ah, hang on a second, that's third motorized, okay. There's 60th. Yeah, it's a difficult position over here. Hmm. Have that move there. And then we'll prepare for the attack over here on the town. Do you want to get some pioneers moving out there? Okay. So things are starting to look better down there now. At least then we can actually have the distinction between the 3rd Motorized Division and the 60th Motorized Division actually begin to develop. The 16th Panzer just needs to have the rest of its elements catch up, essentially. Supply has been sort of figured out then for the most part. 113th, I was going to say 17th, but 113th can then begin to move down here. The 279th? 297th. Got it in the wrong order. But yeah, they're sort of spreading out here to cover this. The attack over here is kind of just waiting on the pontoon bridges, to be fair. But the bombardment continues. So once we do cross over here, I should be able to ideally push on. So that'd be quite nice. But we'll go ahead and continue from there then. But yeah, I can definitely see where lessons could be applied from what we've learned here again. But we'll continue with this. Because at the end of the day, well, we'll see how it goes. I think sometimes you have to really press further into the game just to see how many more lessons you can learn they would not really encounter, really. But we'll have some rest. I think the turn after is going to be, well, we're at 6 now, so I think we may have this last turn a day, and then we may be in the night phase there at that point. So that'll conclude the first day, but I don't know how to rate that. I think at the end of the day, we gained, maybe we could have done more, but these guards over here actually held us up, so we've learned a lesson there. It might have been better just to redeploy and go this way. And in fairness, I could have potentially have done that. Maybe I've had the Panzer Division drive here. But, yeah. I don't know if I have a thing to count how many we've wiped out so far. Not sure. I think there is a way to do it, I just can't remember. Let's get these bloody mixed up. I think it may be here somewhere. No. Sure, there's something that shows you. Oh well, figure that out in the future. So, thank you for watching there, ladies and gentlemen. Hope to see you again in the future. Do stay tuned, as we will be playing some more WEGO World War II Stalingrad next week too. I will be covering the game on my own channel too, so I'll be go ahead and continue with this actual Let's Play. So that'll be fun. Until next time, thanks for watching. If you guys want to go ahead and check out my channel, my content, you can go ahead and find me on YouTube at XTRG. It would be great if you guys could actually go ahead and follow and subscribe there. Definitely helps the channel. Thanks for slivering. And do go ahead and actually follow my Twitch channel as well. That'd be cool. While you're at it. It is XTRG on Twitch. So thanks for that. See you next time. Take care. Stay sexy. And yeah. Until next time. Thank you. And goodbye.